Buddy's here. Guess what I got for you? Guess what I got for you? Come on in, come on in. Ethan, this is Zohar. Zohar, this is Ethan.
Hello.
This is Eli.
Hi.
Okay. Very good. When you go back, Zohar, try this. So you hold on, and then just reach that leg out, and then do that.
Zohar, you're gonna start. What
wanna
is your
introduce
name
yourself?
and which age are you?
What's your name?
Zohar,
Zohar? How old are you?
almost 7.
You're almost 7. Wow, so you're in first grade, right? Okay. And my name is Elad,
And my name is Khan.
and we came to St. Louis with Zohar a few years ago. She was born with a condition called cerebral palsy, and she went through a surgery here in St. Louis, in the best place in the world to get that surgery. It's called the SDR. So she had it when she was almost 3 years, three years and a half ago.
Mm-hmm.
And last year we decided to come back to St. Louis. We're from Israel originally, to boost her therapy. So we came for 6 weeks.
With our 2 kids.
She has 2 brothers,
Mm-hmm.
a 10-year-old and a 12-year-old. So we came for 6 weeks, and
We
things
stayed.
were doing so well.
And we
Zohar
stayed
was
almost
doing
1
so
year.
well.
Mm-hmm.
So we stayed for a whole year. This year we came back, as we plan to come back every year for a few weeks, just to boost the therapy and see our friends and the people that are helping Zohar to improve her walking, her independence, and doing the things she loves. One of the places we found to be as a second home is the JCC. You want to tell us about the JCC, Zohar? What do you like?
you.
What do you like to do in the JCC?
Dance,
Dance?
swim,
Swim? Yeah. Who do you go dance with?
Joe,
Joe.
My name is Joe Fountain. I've been at the J for about 5 years now. I'm mostly a personal trainer, but I also teach balance and Argentine tango. And in Zohar's case, I teach the basics of dance, movement and weight change and just controlling your body.
So one of the things that we discovered during our trainings here in the JCC is that there's the possibility for Zohar to pursue one of her biggest dreams, which is to dance.
We usually don't work with people under the age of 16. That's about our limit. My boss came to me one day and he said, we have a really special, different situation here, and you're welcome to say no. We have a 6-year-old who has cerebral palsy and has come to the United States for an operation. She's doing occupational and physical therapy, but they're looking for a dance therapist. And he said, basically, with your knowledge of personal training and dance, would you be interested and would you consider working with her? And I said, absolutely, but let's start with a meeting.
We found Joe, who was amazing from the first moment they met.
So we met, and Zohar was delightful. She sat there with her huge eyes and looked at me and she said, I like your shoes. So we hit it off beautifully, and so, we decided we were going to work together, and that was great. First thing she did was she insisted that her father buy her a ballet outfit because she can't be a dancer without the proper clothing. So when she came in for her first session, she was wearing a little purple ballet skirt, a little purple leotard and tights, and butterfly wings. She looked like she belonged on top of a cake. She was the most perfect little girl I'd ever seen in my life.
From the first moment we saw that dancing was contributing to 2 main things. The first one is her mental. She felt much more
Comfortable with her body.
comfortable and powerful and able.
And
the
the other
second
one
thing is
is,
her stability, because dancing is all about posture and stability and
balance.
movement.
We worked quite a bit on weight change, how to transfer your weight from one foot to another when you're walking, how your foot should contact the floor, and walking. And she was just beautiful to work with. One of the things that is interesting about working with kids is that you have to come up with ways that are fun to accomplish a task. So I learned to make work play. And I think that was another wonderful thing that I learned with Zohar is how to make all of the tasks that we need to perform more like a game and more like fun than do this new thing.
Joe will certainly tell you about Zohar's character imaging in her dance, fierce grace.
I said, Zohar, what I want you to remember about dancing is that it looks beautiful and light and delicate and free, but it takes so much power to get your body to move that way. And it takes so much balance to be that graceful. So when you think about dance, dance is fierce grace. So fierce meaning powerful and dynamic, and grace.
Fierce grace is what usually Joe says to Zohar, because this is what you see when you see Zohar dancing, right?
Working with Zohar, I'm not accustomed to working with young people, and so that was something that kind of had me a little unnerved. And I am used to seeing progress in bigger chunks. So as a trainer, when I'm working with an adult that's, doesn't have too many things wrong, maybe a knee replacement or something, but their balance is okay and their bodies work pretty well, I see progress happen faster. The movements we do are bigger and more dynamic. And I had to really tool back, not my expectations for her, but my expectations for me. And understand that when I was doing something this big, to her it was this big. And so I had to really kind of take a moment and look at the world from her perspective. When I did that, I realized that I will probably never be as tough or as strong or as disciplined as she is. She is a mighty little human. Oh my goodness.
I think that also, we are in a time where Passover, Pesach in Hebrew, is where the Jewish people became Bnei Chorin, we say in Hebrew. Independence. It's the first independence in the creation of the people of Israel. And for Zohar, it's a special time because she's working hard on her own independence. A big part of what she's doing is what we call independence class. OT is for us independence class.
To do independent stuff.
Yeah, like how to go to the restroom, how to shower by yourself, how to take off her clothes, put on her clothes, how to get in the car, how to get out of the car, stuff like that are pretty basic for us, but are more challenging for Zohar and
people like her.
Yeah. And so this is the time when we can take some extra time caring for that and practice makes perfection, right?
I think the hardest thing for me with her is because her parents both wanted her to be as independent as possible, which was why she came to America, why she came to me, why she's done all of this. But when she falls down, which she does very often, and she just smacks into the floor, the grown-up and the mommy in me is like, and I want to go get her off the floor and dust her off and give her a hug and buy her an ice cream. And her dad just goes, and I'm like, oh. But she doesn't cry, she doesn't fuss, whereas most kids that have a hissy, she just crawls across the floor and she gets her canes and she crawls back up on her canes. And when she falls, she goes, uh-oh. And up she comes and she struggles to get up. She grabs a hold of this ballet bar and just does a pull-up. I can't do a pull-up. She can. So she's been absolutely incredible. I genuinely think now that they're not in the room with me that I probably benefited infinitely more than she did because my heart is much bigger than it was before.
Oh yeah, she wants me to tell you a story that a few weeks ago I skate and I fell in a skate park on my hip, and I was lying there and beating myself and feeling sorry for myself. And then I said, okay, your daughter, every time she falls, and she falls pretty much every hour or two, you tell her, get up, breathe into the pain, ease it up, and start walking again. And don't pity yourself, don't let go. So I stood up, took a deep breath, and kept skating. So she was an inspiration for me in that moment. You can see all the people looking at her, at the great progress she's making, being so proud of her, giving her compliments, and following her path. And it's only the beginning, right? Mm-hmm. You have a lot of great things to achieve.
Working with Zohar has been a really interesting experience on a variety of levels. One, just learning how to work with a younger person because the attention span is different. How I cue an exercise or how I ask you to perform something is going to be different. How you move through it is going to be different, and I have to remember to take moments to play. I think that that's one thing I've taken away is remembering to take a few moments to play. And I know that my grown-up clients really appreciate instead of a next thing, a next thing, a next thing. We take a moment and we don't necessarily play, but we'll have a little moment of downtime and then get back into it. And she has certainly opened up my heart immensely because you can't be in the room with that little beam of light and not grow.
Yes, it's not so easy thing to do, but it's not hard thing to do. Because while you have something like this, you jump into, and that's it. You don't see anything, you look straight forward and you say, okay, this is my goal now. I want to achieve the best thing for my child, and that's it. I don't let anything to bother me at all. This is the goal. For this way I need to go, and that's it.
You can worry all day, what am I going to do? Or you can act on things and do things, and we are on the more proactive side of things. But I can tell you, it's a process. I mean, in the end, when you look at Zohar, when I look at her, we look at her, she's very happy, she's very intelligent, she's very lucky to be born for this family and to be surrounded by all the people that loved her. When you try to predict the future, the only thing you can do is look at the past and try to learn from it. And when looking at Zohar and the way she's coping with things, looking at our family and at my wife and I, and the way we do things together as a team, and with all the friends that surrounds us, I have no doubt that this year would be good with the challenges, and that next year we would come back here again with
More strong,
a taller, stronger,
and
fitter Zohar.
She has such a remarkable attitude. One day she was not wanting to have her picture taken, and she was all, because Mom wanted to take her picture. She didn't want to have her picture taken. And I said, Zohar, why don't you want to have your picture taken? And I don't want to have my picture taken. And why do people want my picture? And I said, well, honey, people want your picture because adults are silly and they forget the most important things. We forget hope and we forget joy. So we need someone like you to remind us that this is a beautiful and hopeful world we live in. And that's why they want to take your picture, so that we're reminded of things that you just naturally do and are. And I think that would be one of the most important things that I've learned from her, is that I'll complain and whine about a freaking paper cut, and she falls down and smacks into the ground, and I'd be laying there calling for an ambulance, and she just climbs right back up and goes on about her day. I wish that we all had that ability to just kind of shake things off a little bit more than we do and just be joyful and hopeful.
The people here are super, super nice. I mean, I've been around the world and I've been around the USA, the States, and it's not like when you go in New York. People greet you in the street here. People are very respectful and very joyful towards Zohar and her condition. When we left last year, I said to several people that St. Louis is a part of us and we are part of St. Louis now. And I really feel it's true.
it's like a journey. You don't know what will be at the end, but you must to enjoy the way and think positive and stay positive. And that's it.
You know what's the meaning of Zohar in Hebrew? Shine. Because she shines.
Yeah.
For the first time I saw her, I didn't know that, but it's evident. She just glitters. She looks like a confection. She's going to do some amazing things in this world. She's going to go out and change a lot of people because she's luminous.
She shines to the world and people see her and get so much inspiration. And everywhere she goes, she touches people with
Her beauty and her smile.
And her soul.
And her stubborn.
Yeah. Stubborn.
Never give.
I would say.
Never give up.
I would say persistent.
Persistent.
Or perseverance.
Never gonna
Shine
give
on.
you up. Never gonna let you down. Never give up.
Never give up.
Yeah.